Yeah.
A strap for this morning. Settling back onto the mat. And we played with throw pose on, I think that was Monday, and we're back. But we've also been playing with wild thing and being on our side, so opening up our chest, but also opening up the front of the hips. So for right now, just settling back, and I want to just share with you, it's interesting. Yesterday, I was listening to a podcast, and she shared, and it's something I haven't shared in a while, the Ho'oponopono prayer. So it's an ancient Hawaiian prayer used for healing, transformation, increased inner peace, and self-love. And so as you settle into your breath, and it's 4 phrases. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And so breathing into your heart space. Letting your body land. Deepening the breath. Filling that heart space. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And very similar to when we practice metta, loving kindness, you can extend this prayer to someone, a situation, or maybe to yourself. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love Let those words just land, settle into that heart space. Breathing energy, breathing lightness into that heart space. That energy of forgiveness, of gratitude, of laying your heart space. And exhale. release. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And just before we begin our practice, flutter your awareness over your body, from your head down over the shoulders, just acknowledging, just increasing your awareness of what's asking for your attention and consideration. Down over your arms to your fingers, down your chest to that heart space, down into your belly, into that low back and the pelvis, and down your legs. Just acknowledging what is asking for your attention. Listening to those little whispers. Maybe giving up that notion that we need to push. Letting go of that no pain, no gain. Let's be softer. Let's be more compassionate. Gentler. More gentle. And then slowly just walk those feet back. Maybe slide that bolster out of the way. And I'm going to say, grab your strap. And so just to start our practice, grabbing your strap and placing that strap just around the outer thighs, just so it's snug. And then land your feet back on the floor, on the mat. And we're going to just gently press out into the strap. And then I want you to release that. Place your hands on the front of your hips and draw those knees towards the chest. Feel your hip flexors fire up underneath your fingers. And then I want you to do that little rock. So do that little rock. Once again, place your hands on your hip flexors. And then you're going to press out into the strap, but try not to fire up your hip flexors. So when we draw the knees up, that's the action of our hip flexors. But when we press out into the strap, we want to work those muscles on the outsides of the hips. So if they fire up, just do that little rock to release. All right, so press out into the strap for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Just let it go. I suddenly pass out. I took an antihistamine and a decongestant. Just in case. So you know what I took. It wasn't illegal. And once again, press into that strap for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Do that little rock. It's covering all the bases. And once again, Press into the strap, but don't let those hip flexors fire for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just let it go. Relax. And then walk your feet back closer so that you can touch your fingers to your heels. Arms along by your sides. Lift up into your bridge. And you're pressing out into the strap. So we're very much firing up the adductors, those muscles on the outsides of the hips. Adductors, sorry. Then in the spine, along the spine. And then that easy little rock from side to side. Once again, feet on the mat, press out into that strap. Lift your hips up, pressing the hips towards the ceiling. Press for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then slowly release. Slowly, just let that low back land on the mat, land on the floor. And relax. Relax and release. Pressing it up once more. Stand into your heels. Press out into that strap. Lift those hips a little bit higher. And then slowly, just lowering it down, one vertebrae at a time, softening your back to the mat. And then take that strap, looping it around your feet. And we're just gonna make a little dinner circle, a dinner plate, see? A dinner plate, so a circle the size of a dinner plate. And the other way. And then releasing, placing that left foot on the floor. Draw this right leg, but I want you to draw that right knee in towards your armpit. Then you're going to extend that left leg long. So we're in this one-sided happy baby. Actively press your foot up into the strap for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then let that knee just sink towards the armpit, into that side body. Do that once more. Press as if you were going to press your foot to the ceiling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let that knee fall into the side of the body. And then extend that right leg long, just drawing it across the midline and then away. Keep this opposite left hip bolted to the floor, draw it across and away. Drawing it across and then away. Now draw it across, maybe bring a little bend into that knee, so that you feel the stretch on that outer right hip. And press through that right heel. Let's extend that right arm out to the side in a T. And then bringing it to center, switching. So we want to place that left foot, drop that left knee into the side body, extend long through that right heel. So the left knee just falling in towards the left armpit. Now we're going to press into that foot as if we were going to press into the ceiling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax that knee. Let it fall in toward your armpit. Once again, press up into that foot for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let that knee just fall into your armpit. Bending long through that leg, draw this leg across the midline, and then away. So it's not a great big movement. Draw it across, then away. Draw it across, and then away. Now draw it across, holding that stretch. You can bring a slight bend to the knee. Reach out through the fingers. And then back to center. So make that loop as big as you possibly can. So making that loop, placing both feet. And I want you to make a circle again, but make that circle bigger, big circle. So we're moving our femurs in the pelvis. And then circle the opposite way. And then looping just beneath the heel. And then, so you don't want the buckle behind your head. And then just the back of the head. I do find that I like to be able to just hold on to that strap. So you're going to press into the strap with your legs, feeling that nice stretch in the back of the neck. But again, being mindful, you don't ever want to feel or make be injurious. You want to be mindful, pressing, and then pressing, releasing it back. So the head releasing towards the floor, feeling that stretch in the back of the legs. And now press the legs so you're lifting that head, feeling the stretch just in the back of the neck. Again, never being injurious. And then head towards the floor, feeling that stretch in the back of the legs. And releasing it. So release that strap. And I want you to grab your bolster. Lifting your bottom up, slide that bolster underneath the pelvis. So let's just take a moment, just a nice counter stretch in this supported bridge. So we get that active opening of the front of the hips. So just settling back, let's open those arms up so that we also can never get too much of opening that heart space and stretching out our pecs. So palms are facing up, and with each breath out, let your pelvis land, relax onto the bolster. Each breath out, pelvis, low back, softening. Then hugging your knees in, extend that left leg long to the ceiling, and you're gonna lower that left heel to the mat, and then lifting it up. So now we're activating the hip flexors. Hugging this right knee in. One more. And then I want you to press into that thigh. So you're pressing thigh into hand into thigh. Release that left heel to your bottom and extend. One more. And then extend that left leg long. So maybe your heel lands on the floor. Maybe it hovers. But now we're opening up and stretching the front of that left hip. Keep drawing this right knee back towards your chest. And then drawing this left knee in. Now we want to extend through that right heel, and we're gonna lift this right leg. Keep that foot flexed. Lower the heel towards the floor and draw it up. One more. So keep hugging this left knee. Your right hand is pressing into that right quad. We're resisting that. So creating that resistance. Right hand on right thigh. Then draw this right heel towards your bottom and extend that leg. So activating the quads, the hip flexors. Press through that heel. Lower the heel. Press, and one more. Keep reaching through that right heel, and then release. Just let that right heel land. Long stretch from the top of the head to the bottom of that right heel. And then lift up that right leg. And then we're going to draw, kind of pin the low back. So our reverse Paschimottanasana. So it's a reverse seated forward fold. Now we're going to draw the legs towards our nose, but our back is nice and long on the floor, and we're drawing our legs. So if you were seated on your bottom, you would grab hold of your shins, maybe the bottom of your feet. So I want you to do the same thing here. Recreating and feeling that stretch in your hamstrings. You might even feel it in your low back, but there isn't a strain. Our back, we're pressing through those sit bones. We're drawing the legs towards us. Spine is long. So we can do a little reach up through the top of the head, feeling that stretch in the back of our legs. Maybe closing your eyes. And releasing it. And we're going to bicycle the legs. So bicycling those legs. Bicycle the opposite way. One more. Any sort of just shifting, repositioning, just taking a moment or two with our supported shoulder stand. So obviously, hips are on the bolster. Try to have those feet directly over the legs, over the hips so that your toes aren't falling back towards your nose. And so in this position, maybe just offering yourself just that gentle little massage. So if you spend a lot of hours on your feet, if it's not super hot, but when it's humid and your legs are aching, this is also a great pose for when young kids have those growing pains and we're mimicking legs up the wall. Obviously, we don't have our legs propped on a wall, mimicking our shoulder stand. So, circulation, drawing back to our heart. And then let go, or maybe you're drishti, so that unwavering focus. Just at that spot where the big toes meet. And then releasing, land your feet, slide that bolster out, slide the bolster. Let's just grab our block. And we're gonna come back to that bridge, but I want you to have that block just between your knees, and you're gonna lift up into bridge. Maybe place those hands once again on the front of the hip. We want to fire up the adductors. So lower your hips down, squeeze that block, keep pressing into the block, lifting your hips up and away from the floor, lower it down, tap your glutes, squeeze that block, and lower, lifting it up, lower it down. Once again, squeeze, lift a little higher, and then lowering it down. So let your knees fall open in a reclined butterfly. Now, offering yourself that stretch of your abductors so the knees are falling open. Knees fall open. Bring those knees up and together, just a little rock, just in case we've created some tension in the body. And then we are going to draw those knees back And we're gonna come into this reclined crow. So imagine, so in our crow, we draw those knees back to rest on the elbows. So we want to press our hands up towards the ceiling. We're engaging, so there's way more core engagement. Our head and shoulders are lifted. And maybe just take your gaze, not necessarily between where your hands are, just in front of your fingers. Press, and I want you to draw those knees into your elbows. Lots of activation for our core, and then release it completely. Come into this front body stretch. Reach your arms over the head, reach through those toes, opening up your front body. Exhale, release it completely, and we're gonna do that once more. So we're gonna come into our crow. So elbows towards the knees, just kind of squeeze those elbows. Lift your head and your shoulders up. So if you were in your crow, you would tuck those toes, maybe bring those toes together. Holding, breathing. So we're in that crow, but we're on our back. And then release. Just grab hold of your ankles. Let your heels fall to the midline. So now we're in this reclined butterfly. Our heels dropping into the midline. And then grasping your two big toes, and we're gonna reach up through the heels. Let those legs fall open, feeling the stretch in your abductors, pressing it out through the heels. So very much isolating that stretch in the adductors, maybe a little bit more activation. Press out through those heels. And then we're going to bring those heels up and together. Put those knees in. Just a nice little circle, a rock and a roll. We're going to rock and roll it all the way forward, coming up to seated. And let's all of us, we have our blankets. Have that blanket just underneath our bottom so that our hips are up a little bit higher. And so we're going to practice what we practice in recline. So lifting up nice and tall, find that step. So lift the rib cage away from the pelvis, hands just gently pressing into the floor, top of your head is reaching. And then inhale, open it up. Let's all of us just slightly bend those knees. Drape, lengthen, bring your belly towards your thighs. Press through the heels into Paschimottanasana, this seated forward fold. Top of our head, reaching to the toes. Apparently, this is like a record-breaking allergy season because everything is pollinating at the same time. So I apologize for my runny nose. Keep pressing through the sit bones, closing those eyes down. Keep your breath just gently flowing. Slide your hands to the level of your knees. Lift it up, keeping that nice long spine. And then let's walk our hands back, finding our reverse tabletop. So we press into the floor, lifting our hips up, just a nice counter pose. Take your gaze to the ceiling. Lower your bottom, bringing the soles of the feet together into our cobblers, soles of the feet. And let's just do that nice, easy rocking from sit bone to your heels. See if you can lift the feet away from the floor. And then rocking the opposite way. One more. Finding center. Lift it up nice and tall. Make that basket lift up. And then releasing forward over the legs. Breathing, close your eyes down. Just dropping inward. Maybe you find you have a little more range than normal. Just after being on our back, coming into our cobblers. And lifting it up. Roll those shoulders back. And we're going to come onto our side. Come onto our side. And if you feel like you want to have the blanket so that it's underneath your forearm, let's all of us go onto our left side. So on that left side, stack your shoulders, stack your hips, reach this right arm up. You're gonna press into the outer left knee, tap that left hip, and lift. One more, lift it up, and then I want you to lift up that top right leg, land that right foot behind, just come into this variation of wild thing. So we're opening the front of the hips. We're opening through the front of the chest, landing it. And then extend this left arm long. You're gonna reach that right arm up and over the head. Bottom left knee is bent. And you're reaching through that right side body. And then just lifting up, we're gonna press into our down dog. Into that down dog. Maybe you want to take your hands off the blanket if it feels okay on the blanket. Lifting those sit bones up. Creating that length through your spine. Landing those knees, coming on to your right side body. So stacking shoulders, stacking hips, reach this left arm up, and then lift the hips away from the mat and tap. Lift and tap, lift and tap, lift it up. One more lift, then you're gonna lift that left leg, land that left foot, opening up through your front body, feeling that stretch. Landing your bottom. So this time I want you to swing that left foot in front. Maybe do a little spin so you're facing front. So we're in our double pigeon. So we want to, once again, find staff. If you want to be seated on your blanket, you can. Exhale, just releasing forward. So maybe your forearms connect to the mat. Maybe you want to have your block or that bolster underneath your forearms. But we want to keep grounding, pressing those sit bones, and you're going to feel that stretch across the back of your hips. Breathing into the space of your hips. Keep grounding. Gently pressing through the sit bones. And lifting it up, rolling your shoulders back. Switching so the opposite shin comes in front. Maybe do a little rock, pressing down into your hands so that we lift our rib cage up and away and our pelvis is upright. Inhale, opening it up. Exhale and land your forearms. Land those forearms, maybe it's on the bolster, maybe it's on the block, maybe it's all the way to the mat. Lifting it up, roll those shoulders back. Once again, reclining onto your back. So coming onto your back, we're going to just cross that right knee over the left. Let's lift our hips up, slide them over to the right, land them, and then letting your knees fall over to the left. And you're looking over that right shoulder. Bringing it to center. Do that little, just that gentle little walk. And then landing that right foot. Now our left leg over top, lift your hips up, slide them to the left. Arms go wide in our T. And then your knees falling over to that right side. Looking over your left shoulder. Coming back to center, just do that little rock. You can hug your knees into your chest. And then making your way into Savasana. So cover up if you need that extra layer. So just make sure that as you settle back, that you're warm enough, that you are supported. And shift and gently just rock your body from side to side. Settling and landing your body. So as you settle, settling that body, just let it. Our practice, just gently settle, maybe percolate within. That little reminder just to drop inward to that place of ease and equanimity. That quiet place within that is always available to us. And slowly just start to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, gently making your way onto your side with no sense of urgency, just moving slowly, just practicing that moving slowly and mindfully. Bring your hands, heart space, and taking a nice deep breath in and filling with gratitude. Namaste.
Thanks, Heather.